Hello and welcome to Sychai, where we'll be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yes, the trailer dropped this week, and I want to give you my thoughts and opinions, so stay tuned in. Well, first, I want to talk about Anthony Mackie. Well, personally, I'm saying he looks great in the trailer. He's looking great. I don't want to talk about his personal weight. Personally, he looks great. He's in shape. He's keeping it up. Even with this quarantine going on, I know everybody's going to want to talk about that with anybody, even from Robert Pattinson and Batman. But that's hearsay, pretty much. He has some great action scenes. One thing I gotta say is they really highlighted his flying. At the end of the trailer, when you see him flying through the canyon, it's amazing. And personally, I think that they should have done that a lot more earlier, but I think the weight is great for it now, because now we're seeing him at his peak flying. This is why he's an Avenger, and you're watching it pretty much played out in front of your eyes. I gotta say that's great. Another thing I gotta say is he has great chemistry with Sebastian Stan. Him and are just playing it off, and they're doing a good job. This is why you cast an Anthony Mackie, because you know he's gonna bring 100%. He's not phoning it in. He's not there just doing a. I don't want to insult other people, but Natalie Portman in Thor: The Dark World was phoning it in. Now, nothing to her because she's an amazing actress, but it's just when I want to do a comparison, you got to look at those two comparisons. You can see one person not phoning in. She had her reasons, but still, Anthony Mackie's knocking it out of the park. He's having fun. He's really perfectly cast for the role. So, I got to say, he's doing a great job. Okay, so next I want to talk about Sebastian Stan. Here he is still great as ever, not improving much more. I gotta say he's owned the role. That's basically what I gotta say. He has owned the role. I couldn't see anybody else as him as a Winter Soldier. Couldn't see anybody else playing Bucky. I think he really nailed it. I've seen the if you watched Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they had Bucky as a younger person. I think it was a perfect choice to make him older, and it's worked out perfectly. He seems like a person who is pretty much just trying to figure out the world, and he's been in fighting with Hydra for so long that he's just kind of like disconnected, and I think Sebastian Stan is really pulling that in with his character of Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier. He's really pulling that in, and I really enjoy that. And watching him through this trailer, he's really nailing it, and I can't wait to see him further on in the Marvel MCU. Okay, next I want to talk about the action. Now, the action in this trailer, like I said earlier with Anthony Mackie, wow, it's stunning. The flying scene through the canyon is amazing. I mean, even for a TV show, I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, oh my god, this should be a movie almost. But luckily Marvel's spending the money. They're really spending the money to make it look good, because a lot of times when you watch live action anything, even from the DC Arrowverse, I hate to pull them in here, but yeah, you look at like DC and even earlier Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is where the money's spent. You're looking at this, you're like, this is why you have Disney Plus pretty much subscription. You see the action, it's well choreographed, you can see it. It's even better than even cheaper action movies. It's just really stunning what they can do. I'm just impressed. I was like, okay, what are they gonna do? I didn't know they were gonna do something like this per se. I thought they would be over their budget, but they're really, really nailing it, and I can't wait to see more from other shows. Definitely from Loki. Hopefully, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later, but just whatever else they do, like with She-Hulk and Moon Knight. They're doing Moon Knight and Blade. I don't know if that's going to be a TV yet. They said it's going to be in the future, but can't wait to see that one. Yeah. Okay, now there are some bad things. I'm pretty much gushing over this trailer. We got to talk about the dialogue. Personally, the dialogue, it's not really nailing it for me. Like, the dialogue's good. It's Marvel quality, but it's not dialogue where it's really pulling in the emotion that Marvel's been missing for years. That emotion, that drive, that awe moment, or that moment where you know that these characters are fully evolving throughout their life. It's not like watching a show like The Boys. If you've seen that, I'm not gonna go into too much detail over that. But if you watch like an Oscar movie, I don't think this has to have Oscar quality, but something that just drives out emotion, and that's what's missing. And also, I'm just gonna carry over into plot. That's another thing for this. It does look great. The action does look great, and that's pulling it off. But even the plot itself, it just seems like a heist. It just feels like a TV kind of show plot. It's not saying it's going to be like there's ground changing. That's what we suspected. And personally, I think they're just going off of this is going to like fill in the gaps kind of a TV show. But they're doing a good fill in the gaps, and I hope it. I mean, I'm speculating from a trailer that was pretty much literally 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. So that's not a lot to say. Hopefully, each episode has something to say, has little themes or something like that, or just an overall theme of what it's like to be a hero or what they want. Because I mean, the most I'm getting out of it is they want somebody. Anthony Mackie is trying to figure out how to fill in Captain America's shoes. So hopefully they do a little bit more with that plot, but that's much that I gotta say about it. Another thing, well, let's just carry over into the villain. Yeah, another part that's gonna be talking about with the plot. The villain, I don't know that villain because I'm not a huge Marvel person. I've seen the movies, but I haven't really delved into the characters. Somebody out there is gonna probably know who that villain is. It just seems like a woman with a mask, so it's not really much depth, and she hasn't said anything, so hopefully there's something to it, but hopefully they don't pretty much go on with the Marvel villain problem, because they nailed it with Thanos, and they nailed it with the Killmonger, and also pretty much, I would say Birdman, Vulture? I think I'm saying Vulture, or Falcon, Michael Keaton. I'm totally blanking out his name. Yeah, he did a really good job, and hopefully they do better. I mean, Loki was good, but I never really saw Loki as a really, really bad person, just more of a complicated person, which is good in its own right. So hopefully they do a little bit more with the villains, and this was not really nailing it for me, so yeah. Overall, I have to say, getting to the final points of this reaction, overall, I gotta say I'm excited. I'm not gonna pretty much judge too much from the trailer because I was reserved for another show that Disney's done is The Mandalorian. I was reserved for that one. A lot of people were saying it was good, and I was just burnt out from the last couple Star Wars movies. And now I know it's a different thing, but I'm just pointing out my opinion on seeing trailers. I was reserved, and it actually turned out I actually enjoy the show a lot. So hopefully this show does improve on the trailer. It looks great, the action looks great, the characters are great, but it's doing a little bit more than average. Oh, and also I was gonna say hopefully they do a lot more actions with Hawkeye. That show's moving along, and seen a couple of photos. But yeah, overall with this, the Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, my bad. The thing is, yeah, hopefully it's a good show. Hopefully it fills in some gaps and does a little bit more and pulls out more. And it's not just that show that just fills in the gaps, not there just to be like, okay, we're just teasing the next Marvel adventure. It's one of those shows that's going to stand out and people are going to remember it. Maybe not win an Emmy per se, but it's going to be one of those shows that we're going to be talking about for years on end. Like, that was the key to moving Marvel forward, because they haven't even started yet, but Wanda and Vision's coming out soon next year, and so that's going to be the first jumping off point, but that's doing a little bit different. That's going to be a lot different. That's going to be like a homage to pretty much all TV, and this is more of that action. So I'm happy that they're doing different directions, or each Marvel show is not going to be the same. They're not formulaic. I mean, the dialogue does, but they're really standing out. Like, okay, this is going to be the action show, this is going to be the retro show, this is going to be the funny show. So I'm happy seeing that. And yeah, so overall I gotta say I'm excited, but I am a little tepid to what's going to happen. So that's all I gotta say. And again, thank you for tuning into Sychai and giving me this moment, and hope to see you soon with another reaction.